Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm filming on my iPad right now and it's kind of fun. I love this fisheye lens vibe, but then you can also see all this mess in the background, so I think I am gonna stop it for now. The reason that I turned on my camera is because we're going to San Francisco tomorrow, and I still can't believe that I'm saying that, but I've been invited to my sort of first ever academic conference at UCBerkeley. It's sort of a one-day academic symposium for undergraduate research in comparative literature, which was my major in undergrad. I ended up submitting one of my Princeton junior papers to their sort of magazine or journal, which is called the Comparative Literature Undergraduate Journal. This is around a couple of months ago, more like a year ago, but I ended up getting published in it. And they also invite everyone who is published to sort of present their paper at this conference alongside a lot of other undergraduates presenting research in the field. And they offered to fly us out, so I'm feeling so incredibly lucky and grateful and also very nervous because it's my first time ever presenting academic research in a very formal setting. So I'm currently trying to pull together a presentation and practice it a couple times because I'm also going to be jet lagged out of my mind, I'm pretty sure. In total, it's going to be like a 2.5-day trip, so a really short sort of stopover, but I wanted to take you guys along, let you know how sort of the presentation goes and what I talk about, and then also hopefully take you along on a little bookstore city hop because I do have one free day to sort of explore San Francisco. It's incredibly surreal, but I gotta finish packing now and hopefully download some stuff so that it's a pretty easy travel day tomorrow. And otherwise, this is just your sign to submit that thing, to apply for that thing, to get those opportunities, because you just truly never know what's gonna fall in your lap. Honestly, I submitted this on a total whim. I just had my junior paper lying around and I was about to graduate and I was like, I might as well use this. I might as well try to publish it if it's just gonna sit in my Google Drive for the rest of time. And so I found, sort of any comparative lit undergrad journal and submitted it, and look where we are now. So I feel like if I can give any sort of positive energy to you, it's to take that opportunity or just submit that thing you've been working on or you've been sitting on. The worst thing that happens is that you don't get it and then you just move on and you apply for the next thing. So yeah, welcome to a little academic conference and bookstore hop vlog. I'm gonna get packing, and otherwise I will see you guys at the airport tomorrow. The flight from Seoul to SFO was around 10 hours. Then I took the BART, which is sort of the Bay Area public transit, straight from SFO to downtown Berkeley, and I've just checked into my hotel. I'm feeling so jet lagged, mostly because I didn't really get to sleep that much on the plane, 3 hours, and it's now the afternoon here, which is the AM, super early dawn, sort of late night hours in Seoul, and so it kind of feels like I pulled an all-nighter, but the most important thing for jet lag is to get out and see the sun and stuff, and I'm super excited to be here. It feels really surreal that I'm sort of back in the United States, but also kind of fun to be back in a college town, especially one I've never been to before. So I think hopefully it'll be a good sort of couple of 3 days. To be honest, I feel like I'm feeling the imposter syndrome already. I'm why am I here? And I'm sure that'll be, even more tomorrow when the actual conference happens, but I feel like all of it is fake it till you make it. And I know I've prepped enough for this even when I was in Seoul, and hopefully even if I'm jet lagged, it'll be super natural and sort of fun tomorrow. For today, I think I'm just gonna sort of explore Berkeley, see a friend maybe for dinner, but the first plan of events is to get some food. And specifically, I'm gonna visit my holy grail supermarket in the US, Trader Joe's, and just get some goodies. Stock up on snacks for the trip, and also maybe to take back to Seoul, and also get some maybe late lunch vibes. I'm not really hungry because again, the jet lag, but I think some light stuff from maybe a salad from Trader Joe's or something would be really nice. Yeah, it wouldn't be a US vlog without a good grocery run, so let's go. I'm gonna make this quick just because it's really hot in this room and I want to make sure I can get back out so that I don't get too tempted to take a nap and ruin the good vibes of the sun and sort of that delicious acai bowl brought, because I'm feeling a little bit more awake now for sure. But as I mentioned, I was reunited with my great love, Trader Joe's, and so I just wanted to show you guys what I got for this little trip, and then I think I'm gonna go back to do another sort of stashing up for Seoul run because I do have a lot of empty room in my suitcase. Not that I think I'll finish all this stuff, but whatever I don't finish, I can take home with me. First thing is this peanut butter chocolate granola. I got some Greek yogurts to go with that for breakfast. And also, I've talked about this before in my short, but for some reason Korea just doesn't have a granola like this that's like chunky and kind of clustery and delicious, and so I always stock up on granola when I come back to the US. Then for some quick lunch or dinners, I got the crunchy slaw salad, which has white chicken, lettuce, cabbage, carrots, chow mein noodles, and peanut dressing. And then also the chickpea, kale, and crispy red rice salad, which looks so good. I just saw this like on the bottom and I was like, I need this like tomorrow. So I'm really excited for this one as well. I just need to find some forks or spoons. One sort of niche thing I also miss being in Korea is sort of like America's dip culture. We don't really have as much of like a dippy vibe. First of all, it's hard to find good guac, and so I got this chunky spicy guacamole, but I forgot chips, so I think I'm gonna have to get those later today. And then I also got this artichoke and jalapeno dip. These are to go with my baby carrots, which is like sort of like my favorite snack ever. So I'm super excited. Next, we got 2 things of fruit. This is for breakfast as well, and also for just general snacking. And then I got probably my favorite Trader Joe's snack, even though I love so many of them, and I think I'm going to stock up more on like the Takis and pretzels and things like that. But this is the jalapeno seasoned corn and rice puffs. They're like kind of like cheese puffs. They're so good. I don't think there's any cheese in it because it's supposedly vegan, but it's cheesy and kind of jalapeno-y spicy. There's a kick. It's just so light and amazing, and yeah, I could probably eat this bag in a sitting. Another Trader Joe's classic, their soft and juicy mango. And then one other thing I also miss from the US is different sparkling waters. I feel like that's not quite made it to Korea yet, and so I got this sparkling lemon and strawberry apple cider vinegar beverage. I'm gonna try that maybe tonight or tomorrow, and I'll let y'all know how it is. And then last but not least, for my nights, and then also to take with me, I got the well-rested herbal tea. This was one of my essentials in undergrad, and it just gets me nice and sleepy. I'm on the floor, so this is kind of sus, but oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. Carrot. Cheers. Oh my god. This guac is crazy good. Oh my god. I think I'm gonna snack a little bit more, then maybe head out, see if I can find like a cafe or something. And then there's a couple stores I just want to pop into. Also kind of want to try walking around the Berkeley campus if I have time. All kind of fun stuff since I have a little bit of time before my friend who lives here gets off work. Some point in there I need to practice my presentation for tomorrow, but wish me luck. Sorry I keep coming to you guys from the floor. I didn't bring a tripod, and so this is like sort of the only stable area where you can also see my face and I can chat with y'all. So that's my presentation done. I can't believe I flew 10 hours for 15 minutes, but honestly I feel so grateful. Like, it's just so surreal that I'm here, and the whole symposium has been really cool so far, just listening to everyone and all their different sort of research papers, and like ideas and stuff. I think it's been really cool. I figured some of you guys might be curious like what my presentation was on or my paper was on, and basically to sum it up really quickly, it was about translating AAV, so African American Vernacular English, into the Chola dialect in Korean translation of like American books and stuff, and basically exploring like why that was kind of problematic because they're completely different histories, even though the translators wanted to like say something about them both being like histories of discrimination. I was basically saying like that's not really how that works, and then I also looked at sort of basically it was only translated that way when there was also like a dominant sort of white narrative, like white characters and things like that. And in books like Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston, which is written primarily in AAV and things like that, the dialogue, it was translated into standard Korean because it didn't work as like a foil to a more like sort of dominant quote unquote language anymore. So that was sort of my grand thesis, and I got to sort of present it really quickly and sort of summarize my findings and stuff, and I think it was really cool. I do feel like it's a little strange being back in sort of like an American academic atmosphere again. Like obviously I'm in grad school in Korea and stuff, but I just kind of forgot what it feels like since graduating college, and I think, you know, I feel this sometimes at grad school too, but especially when it comes to translation, I think I kind of go in between like wanting to make it an academic thing and an artistic thing, and I feel like the more that I sort of study it, I mean it's really helpful, but I also feel like personally in my life I really value it as an artistic thing, and I find that a little bit more interesting, like when we're talking to actual working translators, for example, instead of like theories about translation all the time. So I think that's also really interesting. Like it's good for me to kind of keep in mind. I feel like it's been a really good experience presenting and hearing everyone, but I generally find, for example, like book fairs, translator talks, things like that more interesting than academic talks. I realize this sounds ironic, but I think it's just good to know that about myself and still obviously pursue my studies or whatever, and do the things like, you know, study things I'm interested in, but at the same time remember that like sort of my main passion is translation and writing as like art and not as like academic fields. So yeah, just sort of like the thoughts going through my head right now, I guess. But I'm about to go and listen to a couple more panels because it's a full day sort of thing, and then I think I'm gonna do a bookstore tour of Berkeley, which should be super fun. Maybe check out 2 bookstores that I've been recommended to me here, and then see what I get up to, because tomorrow is supposed to be sort of like a city day, so I'll go into San Francisco tomorrow. But yeah, I'm excited. I'll check in with you guys at the bookstores. Wait, this actually looks so good. Look. So I wanted to give you guys a really quick book haul because I hit 3 bookstores today. I went to Moe's, which is kind of like an iconic, I think, Berkeley sort of institution. It's like 4 floors of books, and it was really nice. And then Pegasus Books, which is another, I think, sort of like local chain. I think it's in Berkeley and Oakland. And both of them had new books, but also a ton of selection of used books as well. And then I also hit Half Price Books because they had a location downtown. Unfortunately, though, for all that like sort of book hopping, I only got 1 book. I think I'm currently trying to get either books by my sort of like favorite writers that I feel like I want to read, you know, in the next couple of months, or books that I feel like are sort of usually like translated independent booksellers, things that I can't find at the library or kind of like on Kindle or whatever. And I think these bookstores might just have not had that much selection in either of those. I mean, they did, but maybe just not as much as I would have liked. There's a lot more sort of like fiction bestsellers and stuff, which those things I feel like I can usually just get, you know, online ebooks and things like that anyway. But the one book I did get was from Moe's, Just Above My Head by James Baldwin. I think this is Baldwin's last novel, and I've never read it. It's quite thick compared to most of his other novels that I've read, but if you guys are familiar, Baldwin's one of my favorite writers, and he's one of the writers that I'm willing to sort of get everything he's ever written, which I think is sort of like my book buying policy, is like either books I can't borrow or books that I know for sure I'll keep forever and like revisit, which are those by my favorite authors. So I'm really excited to read this. I might get to it after the book I'm reading now, which is Witness by Berkeley, or you know, I always feel like Baldwin, I have a time where I want to read him, so I might leave this for that, but I'm super happy with this. I don't think I was able to find a physical copy of this in Korea, and so I think this feels like a perfect purchase for my little Berkeley book haul. I'm gonna try going to some bookstores in the city tomorrow as well, and maybe we'll have a little bit more luck. Honestly, we'll see. Otherwise, I'm feeling kind of pooped from the conference, from my jet lag, and I think I might try and make it out one more time before the sun sets for like a Trader Joe's run for the stuff I want to take home with me, but already I only have sort of like one more day, like one full day left of this trip. It's gone by so fast, guys, like it's actually so crazy, but I'm excited for tomorrow. I'm going into the city, gonna do a little bit of bookstore hopping, just general vibes, might hang with a friend or two, so I think it'll be really good, and yeah, I think for today I'll sign off here. The most important part, the conference is done, so I'm feeling good, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye from Berkeley.
Sitting